Wonderful TV show. I'm your host, Deetra Kelsey. Today we are going to talk about the last presidential debate 2024 that was aired last Tuesday. The debate, the presidential debate 2024. That was very, very interesting. Like I said, it was last Tuesday, you could say. And I want to hear from us, not the media, but I just want to hear what we thought about it. Although I am going to post some what the media said, but we're going to discuss that as we continue on. So here it is. The consensus is that the media said that Trump looked angry, old, tired, and couldn't find his thoughts. His accusations were lies, such as Haitians eating pets. And also, he called Vice President Harris a Marxist. Okay, the media also said about Harris that Harris seems to be focused. She rattled him. She seemed to get him pretty much on edge. You know, and shut him up. He really didn't have anything else to say. She also told him that the military leaders thought he was a disgrace and that Putin would eat him for lunch. And he inherited $400 million and filed for bankruptcy 6 times. Well, that's the media saying that she scored a lot of points by saying those things. Okay, let's start from scene 1, act 1, the beginning. Let's start with the handshake. Jump in. What do you all think?
I loved it. I love how she walked directly up to him, extended her hand. And one thing I did hear somebody in the news say, that it almost seemed like he was trying to get away from her. You know, he kept turning away and there was nowhere for him to go. So he was forced to acknowledge her being there. But I loved her approach. She was assertive. She was confident. Yeah, I was very pleased with her performance starting from that handshake.
Well, I guess I have a little bit of a different take. This is Dana, and I loved her walking up to him with the handshake. She definitely caught him off guard. But at the same time, Deirdre mentioned at the top the different media outlets. I tend to watch the foreign media outlets. I watch BBC, I watch DW, which is the English channel out of Germany, and I watch F24, which is the channel out of France. So I love to see how people from the outside are looking in on what's happening in the American elections, because I think the American electorate and media is so everyone is so partisan that everyone that likes Kamala Harris said, "Oh, she was fabulous. She knocked it out of the park." I mean, even Michael Steele, the Republican pundit on MSNBC, said it was funny. He was like, "Should I say it?" And the woman there said, "Yeah, you should say it." And he was like, "Should I say it?" And he was like, "Should I say it?" And then he finally said, "She slapped that ass." That was Michael Steele's comment. She slapped that ass. So and everyone that liked Trump, of course, thought he was wonderful, he was magnificent, he did so well. So watching from the outside, I liked what Kamala Harris did. She was able to stay on message from the beginning. She was very nervous at the beginning, and they posed a very good question to her right at the beginning, but she handled it. She handled it, and she did not get rattled.
Okay, well, hi, Mark.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, what you
I have a totally different perspective. I too watch international news, and where neither party has any influence. And the international news that I watched said neither candidate did anything to bolster themselves. Both candidates talked to their base, and I actually watched portions of the debate with some independent, undecided voters, and their reaction to the entire debate was simply, yes, Miss Harris got up under Trump's skin. She ruffled his feathers. She threw him off the mark. However, she did not do anything to persuade those undecided voters to come to her side. And in fact, a lot of them that were just in the group that I was with said that because she kept deflecting and wouldn't answer the question, they're more inclined to side with Trump, even though they don't like him. These folks didn't like Donald Trump, but they're saying that she did not. The first question asked if you're better off than you were 4 years ago, and she started in on her growing up in a middle-class family. That's not the answer that undecided voters wanted. So from that perspective, neither candidate did anything to help themselves. Both of them spoke to their bases. Whoever is going to vote for Trump is still going to vote for Trump. Whoever was going to vote for Kamala is still going to vote for Kamala. It's those undecided voters are the ones that are going to swing this election, and neither one of them did anything to pull those voters to their side.
Okay,
First,
I
let me-
need a little bit of help here. She has a 5-point lead. That may seem not all that much, but it's maybe enough to win the election. I don't know what
5-point lead where?
her
Um,
Where?
5-point lead after the debate.
Dear-
Now, that needs to know, where was she before that?
Deirdre, I would like to bring up, first of all,
Speak up, Dee. I'm sorry.
before we even move any further, she is not Miss Harris. She's Vice President Harris. So I would like to stop with the. Let me finish. Let me finish. Do not interrupt. I didn't interrupt you.
But you can't tell me how I could call.
So I would like to. So I would like to. I would like to not have the disrespect from the very beginning of this.
How is that
discussion,
disrespectful?
because she has a title of Vice President of the United States of America.
Oh well.
So next thing I would like to say, I watched, as I said, I watched the international news simply so that I could hear. And there was that very first question, I will say, and which I said she was nervous and she deflected that very first question. But beyond the first question,
all I said.
Beyond the first question, she was on point. She answered, she did not dodge any of the other questions. She was on point with all of her answers.
If that's
She answered them, and she had plans. She had plans, which really showed up Donald Trump's. I have a concept that he's been working on for 9 years.
Oh my God. I'm not president yet. I have concepts.
Yes.
Unprepared. See, this is what I don't understand. First of all, to get back to the first comment, as far as these undecided people, I don't understand exactly what is it about you being undecided.
They want to know about policy.
But why are they holding the bar so high for her?
They want to know about policy. They don't care about a vibe.
She spoke about policy. She's the only one who did speak about policy.
Of different crimes. They know the man is a racist. They know that he is a classist. They know that he's a narcissist. So I don't understand, what is it that they are undecided about?
But they also know the effect of his policies, and they were better off 4 years ago. People were better off 4 years ago.
They were not better off 4 years ago. 4 years ago. 4
were.
Years ago, we were in the middle of a pandemic, and there's a difference between knowing who you are and being indoctrinated.
These are the same old
Those people, all of the people, all of the Trump
Tuesday
supporters are indoctrinated. They are just cult members following. It was very funny because I just saw a message today about
for me calling
I just saw a message today
That's
about
her name.
I just saw a message today about Jim Jones, who staged an assassination attempt.
Here we go with that again.
He did. It's the truth. It's the truth. He staged an assassination attempt.
That's your opinion.
All we can deal with is the truth. If you don't want to deal with the truth, maybe you can't handle the truth.
That's your opinion.
And I'm being neutral on this, but with Ukraine and Israel, it wasn't very clear from both candidates about what they would do with this war. Do you all agree with that?
I agree that neither one of them.
With Ukraine?
I understand about Ukraine. I understand backing Ukraine because if you let Russia advance.
But this is not about our understanding. This is about what Trump and Kamala talked about.
Well, okay, well, her name is actually
Kamala. Her name is Kamala, and she's the vice president.
It doesn't matter. That's why
it does matter. It does matter. Should I call you Mayark? Should I call you May Art? Because
No,
it doesn't
because that's
matter.
not
No,
how
your
my
name is Mark.
okay. What's
So
her
we're
name?
not calling
Kamala?
you May
Is
Art.
it Kamala?
We call her
Kamala.
vice president.
Kamala. Okay, Kamala.
Kamala.
Okay,
We call
Kamala.
her vice president. That'd be cool.
Kamala.
So what I was saying, I understand about Ukraine because you cannot let Russia advance. They are an adversary of the US. And if you let them claim this country, they're going to try to build up the USSR again. Ukraine was once a part of the USSR. Now it's its own separate nation. And Russia is trying to reclaim that. So if you let them do that, they become even more of a threat, more of a bigger adversary. So I understand wanting to help Ukraine. Israel, on the other hand, I do not. I do not understand promoting imperialism, making these people who are indigenous to that land suffer and have their homes stolen and blow up their libraries and killing people. That is absolutely wrong.
Well, one thing
My
that
opinion.
hold up, let me say this. One thing that Vice President Harris said was that Israel has to protect themselves, but it has to be some type of negotiation to cease fire. Trump said it would not have been a war if I was president. Can we talk about that?
One thing the vice president had said that I totally agree with is that you have to talk about a two-state policy.
Yes.
You cannot tell these people who are indigenous to this land, who were born on this land, that all these people who invaded basically this land by immigrating there, they are not, a lot of them were not born on this land. You can't tell them, oh, you can have a country, and then these people were basically herded up in the refugee camps on their own soil. So you have to acknowledge that they too have a right to exist.
What I think is, wait, can I just put in here? And what I think is very, very, it's treasonous behavior is that it has come out now, first, that Donald Trump called the leader of Israel, telling him not to sign any sort of peace agreement because it would help Biden. He's done the same thing with Putin. Do not go into peace negotiations because it will help Biden. And if I get in, he kept telling it. He kept saying it all along during the debate. Had he been in,
and he didn't deny it
because he didn't deny it, and he said because he can call these people and he can talk to them. So he calls.
He was the president.
And we know
before.
that. Wait a minute. And we know that the same thing went on. And we know that the same thing went on with the immigration. Here even the Republicans were getting ready to sign an agreement, and then Trump calls up and says, do not sign it because it's going to make Biden. This means that you are more interested in yourself than in your country.
You can believe, whatever you want.
Let me hear from Mark. Go ahead.
You can believe that emotional rhetoric all that you want, and you can vote for whomever you want. Just know who you're voting for and what you're voting for. You're talking about an immigration bill. Let's talk about immigration bill HR 2 that the Republicans put out a month after they were in office that Chuck Schumer never even looked at. That was a real immigration reform bill. This immigration reform bill had nothing to do with reform, had everything to do with processing, putting judges on the border so that they could process folks to keep them coming in and steal that 5.
And it was written by the Republicans. No, it was
not written by Republicans.
I will say that.
Well, I'll let you guys talk. Let me talk. I have links that prove that it was co-sponsored by one Republican. It wasn't written by Republicans. I have proof for it because I go onto the official government website to get this information. I don't listen to talking heads that give their opinions about shit. I actually go research this stuff myself.
Well, if you researched it,
I will give them to you.
If you researched it well, you would have known that Kamala was going to get the the presidential nomination, because as I recall, you owe me $1 because you bet me that she would not, that the rug would be pulled out from under her and she would not get the nomination. And I told you because of spiritual reasons, I'm not a betting person.
But you cash app. Give me your cash app. I'll send you a buck.
Okay. And the other issue is that I think perhaps remember, I told you I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent voter, and I
Don't sound
really wait a
independent to
minute. And I
me.
look at this, from a very spiritual point of
But
view,
you don't sound independent.
because that is where I look from, and that's why I have really sort of let everyone know. Do not be worried about who will win the presidential
It doesn't
election,
matter who's going to win.
because for
Oh, we
very
hear something
spiritual
now.
reasons,
No, it doesn't, because of
for
the
very spiritual reasons,
yeah,
Trump
Pluto
won the first time to expose both white racists and black wannabes who
Oh,
were
yeah.
supporting Trump. That's what Trump got in for the first time. He will not get
That's
in
your
again
opinion.
because
That
his
is your
job
opinion.
because
That's your
his
opinion.
job is done.
That's your
All the
opinion, love.
Nazis,
That's your
all
opinion.
the
You're entitled to
fascists,
your opinion, but
all
I
the
don't
Nazis and
believe it.
fascists who have crawled out from under the rocks
No.
have been exposed.
No.
All of the people who
No.
are stabbing their own people in the back
No.
have been exposed.
Not
So
all of them.
he will never win again.
Okay.
And
He may
Kamala
not.
will be the next president of the
She
United States.
might. She
Hey,
might.
Mark, I have a
Hoping
question
so.
for you.
Hoping
Yeah.
so.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
During the debate, the interviewer, one of the interviewers, mentioned January the 6th. He
Mhm.
said that David Muir asked Trump, is there anything he regrets about that day? And Trump's response was, I had nothing to do with that, other than they asked me to make a speech. Now the media is saying that was a lie. What do you? What's your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is he is correct. He didn't have anything to do with that.
Come on.
Wait, let me finish before you start with that eye rolling and head rolling. Do you guys know that when the initial breach happened at the Capitol, Trump was still on the ellipse over 2 miles away talking to his supporters? He was still over there. Do you know
Because the
his
Secret Service wouldn't allow him to go to the
He
Capitol.
was at the ellipse. He wasn't even near the Capitol, and the
No,
people that
because the
came
Secret
to hear
Service
him
wouldn't
talk
allow
were still there when the breach happened. His last words were, "Go in peace and let your voices be heard."
Oh, there was nothing about
It
going.
was
Yes, it
fight,
was.
It was
fight,
we have to fight. It was about we have to
That
fight.
he
gonna
was
fight
talking
like
about.
hell.
No,
That's what he
no,
said.
that
Those
was
were his
before.
words.
Those
Fight
were
like
days.
hell.
Though, listen, you guys won't let me finish. I'll let y'all finish. I'll let you talk your rhetoric.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
He said stuff days and days and days before, go fight like hell and all that. But the day of the breach, he told them to let your voices be heard.
He said, "I will meet you there." He said that, and he did. Of course, his Secret
At
Service
the
did not let
ellipse.
him.
At the ellipse. That's what he was talking about. So you got to get the full transcript
I-
of all of his words. Just like you still believe he told people to go inject bleach in their arms. He never said that. Never said that. He never said.
As I said, he
No,
did
he
say
didn't.
that. My husband works in a newsroom.
No, he didn't. I have the full
Okay.
transcript of what I have the full transcript
Well, maybe you
of what
maybe
he
you need to
said, and
go
I will
back and
send that
read it
to you as
again.
well.
Perhaps you
He
need to go
never
back and read
said
it
inject
again.
Well,
bleach.
but you know something, Mark, it is suspect because after they were like calmed down after they bum rushed the Capitol.
What do you wait?
Let me hold on. Let me finish. Let me say this. He did. He stood out there, not too far away from the Capitol, maybe in front of the White House. I'm not sure, but he did say to those people, "I love you."
And fight like hell.
He insinuated
And we're
that
gonna
they did a
fight
good
like
job,
hell.
and I think he told them to go home. I'm not sure.
He did
But
tell
he
them to
still-
go home.
Go home.
Finally,
And listen, wait. Stop.
He still
Can I
did.
respond?
Really, with good boys. Good.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Everybody talks about, well, he should have came out and made a statement and told them to go home or on TV. The people that stormed the Capitol were not watching TV. So how were they going to get a message from him to stop? You're making way
Are
too
you
much.
serious? These people were all on there.
Will you let me finish?
These people were still on their phones. These people were still on their phones, so they saw what was going on. And again, I'm going to approach things from a spiritual point of view because, unfortunately, with
Will you
Donald
let me
Trump,
finish,
he
please?
lies about things that he doesn't even need to lie about. And I
So
know
does
from the
Kamala.
beginning, all of our parents told
Kamala.
us the devil
does
is a
she.
liar.
They
So
both
when you
were lying
lie
on
when
this
you don't
stage.
even need to lie,
She
there's
lied
something
21
wrong.
times. You ain't saying nothing about her 21 lies.
They did fact checking during the
No, they
debate.
didn't fact check her at all.
They didn't bring up any lies.
Her
Because
sorority
she wasn't
sister didn't
lying.
fact check her at all.
She wasn't lying.
Her sorority sister
The
didn't
only
fact
thing
check
she
her at
did
all.
wrong,
And
the
her
only
best
thing she
friend
did wrong was
that is
deflect
head of
that
the
first question.
ABC wouldn't allow that.
The only thing she did wrong was deflect that first question. She did not lie during that debate. And if you
what question was that? What question that she deflected?
If you're better off now than you were 4 years ago.
that was the first question that she deflected. But beyond that, she did not lie and she did not deflect, and she gave real policy
If that's what you saw, I'm grateful that you saw that and you hold on to that. That's not what I saw. But if that's what you saw, then go ahead. Go ahead with that.
Okay, let's move on to the abortion. Now that's really, really a hot topic there. Trump said that, like I said in the beginning, that women right now are having abortions or killing babies after the baby is born. And David Muir and the other person, they kind of fact checked that, and they said that is not true. None of that is happening.
And I would like to hear from Mark. I would like to hear from Mark what lies he thinks she told. That's what
I'm not going to get into all of that. You go research that for yourself.
But I gave you some of Trump's lies.
Let's talk about the abortion.
Even one lie. Even one.
No.
Okay, well, there are no lies then.
No, Project 2025.
Like they said, the devil is a liar.
Project 2025.
Okay.
What, there's no Project 2025? Is that
there is, but it's not Trump's.
Please. It's the agenda of the Republican Party, and he heads
No,
the
it's not. It's the Heritage Foundation.
And they're writing the agenda.
And most of them are ex-Republicans.
They're ex-Republicans. That Project 2025, some of that stuff started in the late 80s. They've been talking about doing some of or all of that since the late 80s.
Okay,
it's not Trump's program.
And they've been doing things slowly but surely, just like.
So how you going to give it to Trump?
Just like the tax raise for middle class people. They've already, during Trump's administration, they made it so that the tax for middle class will be raised.
That's a lie. I have information
in 2025. And again in 2020, it's already on the books.
It's a lie. I have information from the IRS own website that says the people who got the biggest benefit from Trump's tax cut were the middle and lower income folks. Straight off of IRS. You don't have to believe me. I'll give you the link.
Let's talk about the racial issue. We mentioned earlier that somebody mentioned that he is a racist. Do you all really believe that?
I don't.
1000%.
I don't. I don't know Trump. I'm not in his circle.
Well, guess what? I have been in his circle, and I know him, and he is.
I would like to say, Mark, I wish you could give the benefit of the doubt and be so willing to look at all aspects of stuff with the vice president as you are with Trump, in spite of these blatant.
I am.
This is not stuff that's fabricated. This is stuff that comes out of the man's own mouth.
Listen, do you know the stuff that has come out of her mouth?
We've asked you, and you said to look it up. I asked you what came out of her mouth, and you won't say it.
You know what comes out. She'll take your patent if you don't do what the government says.
Okay, so
I never heard that. Heard that.
I've heard it. I've heard that.
Take your patent?
Yes.
I never heard that.
I will give you guys.
We're not going to agree about what personality is Trump and race.
Argue so vehemently.
But I do want to go back.
You argue vehemently.
I want to go back. Hold up. Calm down, please. I want to go back to the abortion topic. Okay, I think that's very serious. I think that it's regarding women's health. Vice President Harris said about a woman almost bled to death in a parking lot because of that. But on the other hand, Trump did say that he wants to leave it to the states to decide. It's really not the federal.
That's what they used to tell us about race, to leave it to the states.
Okay.
Bottom line is, if you don't have a vagina, you should not be making any comments, rules, or anything concerning women. Women are adult human beings.
I agree.
They do not need to be told what to do with their body.
And I've done my part to keep unwanted pregnancies at bay. I had a vasectomy over 20-something years ago. So I've done my part. I want to give you guys my stance on abortion and all of that. First of all, I believe everybody has the right to do whatever they want with their own body, and that nobody should be able to tell any of us what we can or can't do with our bodies. Okay, that's number
Okay.
one. Number two, I believe as long as it is a glob of snot, you can do whatever you want. But once it can live outside of the womb, once it can live outside of the womb, unless it is the health of the baby, health of the mama, something drastic, unless it's something like that, let the child come forth. You can give it adoption or whatever. But other than that, I don't have any dog in this fight. That's y'all issue.
Well,
That's
yeah,
a
and even
woman's
thank you, and
issue.
even the Bible talks about the breath of life. So until that baby is slapped on the bottom and cries out because it's inhale the breath of life, and then
The soul
it's
comes in,
nobody's business. Because remember, before all
the
of the
soul comes into that
before
body
all of the
before that.
technology that we have now, no one could see what was going on inside your belly. You could
But
feel
listen,
you could feel things,
but
but no one could see what was going on. They couldn't tell whether your baby was deformed or healthy. They didn't know what was going on
let me tell you this.
inside
Let me
of you.
share this.
So
Let me share
bottom
this.
line, if you feel that a parent getting an abortion, a mother getting an abortion, a late term abortion is a murderer, that's between her and her God and her doctor. And that's just it.
Okay. Hey, we're gonna move on to, moments after the debate ended, Taylor Swift endorsed Vice President Harris. Will that bring a wave of white women to the polls, or the generation, this next generation that can vote to really vote for Vice President?
I don't think it's going to bring white women necessarily to the polls, but I do think a lot of the younger women that she's encouraging them to register and vote, I think it will affect them, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to move the needle that much.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needs to move the needle because Vice President Harris is already at least 5 points ahead of Trump at the moment. And I think that gap is going, as she continues to get endorsements from Republicans, I think that percentage is going to go up and up and up. And as I said, unfortunately for him, it's desperate. He really needs to win, because if he does not win, all of those legal cases are going to come down on him like rain.
Yeah. So we have like a couple minutes.
Can I respond to the Taylor Swiftie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I really don't think celebrity endorsements really carry much weight for anybody, especially in this day and age. And the perceived bump it's hard to try to quantify what that's going to do on election day. This is still it's still over a month away, and a whole lot could change in between now and then. It's good for Kamala that she got gets the celebrity endorsements. That's always a good thing, but I don't think they really hold that much weight these days.
Well, last time Taylor said for kids to vote, for people to register to vote, 35,000 people registered to vote based on her saying that. So
Biden
actually voted.
And then again, too, I agree with Mark as far as don't really pay attention to the polls, because in 2016, almost like a 90%.
Hillary was 9 points up.
Going to win
in 2016. She was 9 points up.
So I don't put too much into these polls, because that was the shock of life.
And you know
it was not the shock. It was not the shock for me.
We have to go on break for 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sister Talk TV show. We just finished talking about the presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald J. Trump. But now we're going to segue into our guests. We want to know a little bit more information regarding our guests. Mark, let's start with you. Tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
My name is Mark Edward Pyle, also known as Pfeiffer's B Metatron, and I am the founder and chief esoteric educational officer of On the Sevens Mastered Self Academy. You guys can find me on my YouTube page, my Facebook page, or on my Zoom broadcast. And I really, really, really want to connect everybody with their soul and let you find out that your name is much more than just what you will answer to.
So are you a numerologist and astrologer?
Master numerologist, master astrologer, master card divinator. I write my own numerology interpretations, my own astrology interpretations, chakra, natural health and healing.
How long you been doing that?
I've been doing this, I've been studying and or practicing 50 plus years.
Oh my gracious. So
yeah, since I was 8 years old, I started, I got my first numerology book off the bookmobile when I was 8 years old. I drew my first Emephrius in the dirt with the astrological symbols. I had never even seen an astrology book. And one of the guys from the lodge came to the house and saw it and asked my grandfather who drew that. And he told him I did. And then from there, they just kept taking me to the lodge and kept exposing me to different esoteric sciences.
Dana Mano.
Well, hello, I am Dana McBroom Mano. I'm an artist, an educator, and an activist. I'm artistic director of PACA Theater Dance Company, which stands for Passing Ancestral Knowledge Along. So one of the things that I promote education through the arts. I think it's much easier for young people and the public in general to be educated about our history, about our stories through the arts. It's a much more memorable. I mean, and I educate myself through the arts all the time as well. I was laughing. I went to a reading the couple of days ago about Yale graduate Edward Alexander Boucher. Now, when I heard the name Boucher, I thought they were going to talk about the jazz musician, but they were talking about Edward Alexander Boucher, who was the first doctor African-American doctor graduating from Yale with a doctorate in physics. And he was a physicist. And what do you know? I mean, when Booker T. Washington came along, they blacklisted Boucher because they said they were tired of him trying to teach African Americans higher sciences and mathematics and languages. So there's been a real effort to keep African Americans down, and sometimes through other African Americans, because it was Booker T who was saying, no, we need to just educate African Americans in trade skills, and that languages, mathematics, sciences were just beyond us. Anyway, so I want to promote education through the arts, and that's my raison d'être.
Well, those African Americans that were trying to hold you back, or hold everybody back, those the people that Harriet Tubman left behind. But Star Davis, what's happening with you? Oh, by the way, Dan is in my musical, faith-based musical about gang and gun violence, Suicide You Want, as the First Lady. Hey. So Star Davis, how are you doing? What's up with you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So I'm an actress. I am a writer. As an actress, I actually have a PSA that's airing now, which is really exciting, about breast cancer, and women, especially women over 50, really need to get our mammograms and stay on top of that, because the older you are, the more breast cancer increases. And when you find it early, you have a much better chance to cure it. So please, ladies, and men too, breast cancer also happens in men. Yeah, stay on top of your mammograms. So that's exciting to turn on the television and to actually see myself giving this message. I would say You Can magazine. I have put that on hiatus for a while, but I am hoping to bring it back. It's just a lot of work, and it's been easy to put aside, but it is still calling me. I still have people. There's still more things to say out there and more people to cover. So will absolutely come back. Very grateful. Thank you for having me here today, and life is good.
I do want to ask everybody one question, just say one word. Who do you think will win the presidential debate? One, 2 words, one word. Let's
The
start with,
debate or the election?
I'm sorry, the election, yes. Mark,
Trump.
Star,
Harris.
Diana,
I know that Harris is going to win, and
okay. So I just want to wrap it up. Thank you again for participating in this conversation. Thank Zakizi Starman for creating System Talk and also being the executive producer. I'm Deetra Kelsey, co-producer and host, and I'm wishing you peace, love, and remember to stay in the light. All right, okay. That's it.
Sister talk, sister talk, sister talk, sister, ooh, sister talk.